So let's go through those list of red flags, and maybe we'll take turns going through each. I'll do the first one. No?
You're going to go through all of them now.
See? Controlling. All right. So the first one is sudden conflict with your family. So maybe you used to get along with your family, but now it feels like they don't understand you or they're judging your relationship. But this shift didn't really come from you, did it? It's often seeded by your partner, subtly undermining those connections behind the scenes.
First, from your perspective, have you ever experienced anything like that with any of your girlfriends?
Yes, with one of them, I did. She would kind of start poking at my family members, not to them, obviously, but to me, saying like, this person's so annoying, your sister, your brother, like everyone. She had something negative to say about pretty much everybody. And of course, you can always find the negativity about people, but it's weird. Like I never said that stuff about her family just because you don't want to cross that boundary. You know, it's not my place to be judging her family. I mean, maybe if I'm like married to her and I have a relationship with them like way down the road, then it would become more normal. But this happened like very early on in the relationship, and I just found it to be quite weird.
So what happened to the relationships?
I dumped her.
Typical Robbie Kramer. But did your family at the time notice that something was wrong?
Oh, they didn't like her at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
They didn't like her vibe. You know, they just kind of got a bad feeling about her.
But do you trust your family with that sort of a feeling?
I do, because I feel like my family is very socially adjusted. They have very good people skills, social skills.
So you listen to them?
Of course.
No,
yeah.
that's nice.
Well, at first I like they weren't very vocal about it, but I could just tell that they weren't like huge fans, right? Because they weren't saying, you can like,
notice that.
Yeah, this girl is so great, or we like her for you. You know, they're very much not interested in anything having to do with her.
Okay, yeah.
But they weren't straight up mean or rude, and they never told me that they didn't like her until after I broke up with her.
Yeah, I just noticed a lot that a lot of people, they actually do not listen to their family about such a topics, which I found weird, because that's your family and they have your best interest. So it's the only people you actually need to really listen. And if they don't really like your boyfriend or girlfriend, it should tell you a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's tough for guys in their, 20s and 30s because they kind of feel like maybe their family doesn't really understand them or doesn't really know, and as a teenager, as like a boy in 18, your family is kind of like the last person you think they're like out of touch or whatever.
But it's more for, I agree. That's more for boys than for girls. I agree with you, because I never felt this way.
Right. All right. Well, that's red flag number one. The next red flag is that you've become socially isolated. You rarely see your friends anymore, and you don't feel excited or safe introducing her to them. Either she shows zero interest in meeting them, or worse, she actively sows tension or talks trash about them. Have you ever had a boyfriend who did that with you?
No, I was lucky that I didn't have that problem. But as a woman, I would say that if my boyfriend would not introduce me to his friends when we became official boyfriend and girlfriend, it would be immediately no for me. Like I would be questioning why you're not showing me to your friends. Is there a problem? There is something wrong about me, or there is something wrong about our relationship. So that would be for me no. And I know even some of my friends that had that issue, and they, I'm not the one to judge, but it happens a lot.
Well, that's one of the best ways to tell if the person you're dating, is somebody worth dating. It's show me your friends, I'll show you your future. I think that's one of the most powerful quotes I've ever heard, because you are a collection of the 5 people you hang out with the most, and you will become exactly like your friends. It's just, that's how osmosis works. No matter what, who you hang out with has a major impact on who you are. So if you're with a girl who's isolating you from your friends and just saying be with me, let's do everything together, blah, blah, blah. She's doing that for a reason. And it's almost always a manipulation and a control strategy. She's not trying to make you a better guy. She's trying to remove all of those bonds that you have and have full control over you. And I feel like women who do this, they don't necessarily do this consciously. I think most of the time it's more of an unconscious behavior because they have these sort of issues and they're not comfortable with the guy's friends. They know that the friends will probably not like them. And
Exactly. And because they know that the friends will have a big, not power, how to say, influence over their friend. Because, for me, that would be like, no, like immediately I would be like, show me to your friends, like introduce me to your friends. Right. And of course, they're going to give their opinions about me. Oh, we like her, or, oh, we don't. She's a bitch. Dump her, but that's still, that's still really important for me.
All right. Well, the next one, red flag number 3, is she violates your privacy. Maybe she's going through your phone, checking your social media, asking invasive questions about your past. This isn't love, it's control, insecurity, and obsession that's wrapped in a nice little bow of fake concern. So remember, love doesn't come with surveillance. So what do you think is a healthy amount of, surveillance? I guess nothing if you call it surveillance.
Yeah.
But what's a healthy amount of, checking on your partner and all that sort of thing? Because this can be a tricky one.
I actually had this happen to me in my very first relationship, and it was horrible. So, initially, we dated for 2 years, and I have broken up with him, and I started noticing it after a year because we were living in the same town, in my hometown. And after I moved to the capital to study, to Kyiv, and we were having long distance relationships. And then it really kicked in when I noticed that, because I would go to my to university, I would come back, and as soon as I'm back, we're on the phone the entire time. I want to go to the grocery store. He is like, oh, I'm going to call you. Let's talk on the way there. I'm like, okay, I miss you. That's fun. But when it started going day after day and after, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go with my friend from my dorm to just go somewhere, walk. And he's like, send me the picture, send me that. And I'm like, whoa, that's super bad. And as soon as I'm just try to set my boundaries and say, look, I'm so tired after the whole day in university. I just want have my music in my headphones and just want to go walk, in the city and just listen to my music. And he's like, are you going with someone? This is so weird. Send me a picture. Yeah. So that's
a lot.
And because we've been together for already over a year, it was something new to me. I immediately felt that it was wrong and I needed to break up those relationships. But a lot of people, they have different circumstances, so they don't really know that that's so bad, and they don't really break them up till it's, they're
Sure. Well, I think what's interesting is some people might look at what we do in terms of each other's phones, location settings, and think there's an issue there. And I think we have a very healthy level of that. And to explain what that is I have full access to your phone. You have full access to my phone. I'm confident that you would never just go through my phone.
I've actually never went through your phone.
Exactly.
Unless you ask me to.
Right. Yeah. And I've never gone through your phone. And I could. Why would I dig there? Even, and then the other thing is we both have each other's location settings.
Yeah.
Or, live location all the time. Which I think is, we're obviously married, so that's different. I had a buddy of mine.
I'm looking if he's in the clubhouse or still on the 17th hole.
Well, it's very convenient to know where she is. If I need to go meet up with her, I can just find her on find my iPhone app. But I'm never surveilling her, and she's never surveilling me. If she wanted to go in my phone and find a bunch of shit to be pissed about, you can find old pictures and crap like that, But I'm confident that you wouldn't do that because you're secure. And you're confident that I wouldn't do that in your phone either. So exactly. It's convenient for us to have access to each other's devices.
But also if something happened to you, I'm so paranoid about even Ubering, if it's maybe not safe driver, I really want him to have my location at all times so he can know if something happened to me, where is my phone? That's really important for me.
I have a close friend who his, this is a terrible tragedy. His wife was drugged and killed, and it's because he had the location of her phone that they were able to figure out who did it.
Police would never find out unless that phone. So like, especially that case, that's also important for me. But I think like other people, if they want full privacy and don't share the location, I also respect that.
Especially if they're not married. We never did that until
till we
2
actually,
or 3 years into the relationship when it made sense.
But I also had a bet with, actually that was my first boyfriend. My second boyfriend, already upon our breakup, in the day when we were breaking up, he told me, every time you went to sleep, I was reading your messages on your phone, because I trusted him. He had access to my phone. I had access to his phone. I've never touched that in my life. Yeah. He was reading messages with like my friends and everything. I just couldn't believe that, Like, I never even like thought of that, but that happens.
Insecurity.
Yeah.
People who are insecure, they need to do that, and they need to go through, and they're going to take anything out of context. I remember my very first girlfriend ever. This was back when like nobody even had cell phones. In like
you're old.
I think it was 2000, the year exactly 2000. She went on vacation. I like went to pick something up from her dad's house, and she left her computer open. I went through her email.
Oh my God, you're horrible.
I was terrible. I found an email to another buddy saying that Robbie's a bad dancer. And like, I confronted her about it, and of course I didn't tell her that I went through her email, but the only way, she's like, I only told that to one guy, that was Ian. And like, you must have, like, she kind of figured it out. Yeah. But I never admitted to it. So Tanya, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
You were bad. That's horrible.
All it did was ruin my confidence with dancing, and it was terrible. Like, I wish I had never done that. So I didn't do it ever again since then. But it's also so stupid.
It's also can be out of the context. Maybe
she was only saying it to Ian because she felt bad for him, because she kind of like, I think he had a crush on her too, and she chose me over him.
Exactly. So you never know, what's happening in the conversation. Maybe their both were attending dance classes and they're like professional dancers or something. You never know. And like also this emoji, like you sent this like hugging emoji.